Être un bon traiteur, c'est être intransigeant sur la qualité. On ne fait du bon qu'avec le meilleur. C'est être impitoyable sur les recettes. Quand c'est bon, il n'y a rien à ajouter, rien à enlever. C'est être irréprochable sur le goût. Il faut prendre du plaisir pour en donner. Voilà, pour être un bon traiteur, il faut être intraitable.
Parfaitement intraitable.
Être un bon traiteur, c'est être intransigeant sur la qualité. On ne fait du bon qu'avec le meilleur. C'est être impitoyable sur les recettes. Quand c'est bon, il n'y a rien à ajouter, rien à enlever. C'est être irréprochable sur le goût. Il faut prendre du plaisir pour en donner. Voilà, pour être un bon traiteur, il faut être intraitable.
Parfaitement intraitable.
Race 3 for the Ultimate GT Sprint Cup getting underway shortly. The third 25-minute encounter of the weekend for this variety of GT machinery, from purebred GT3 cars all the way down to the midgets that race in the UCS4 category. Sadly, it is the 8 cars that are taking to the track. No Ford GT from Racetivity, which is a real shame to see. I know many of us are looking forward to seeing that car in the new SRO Revival series that's being launched for next year. Racetivity have confirmed that car will be out there, the ex-Matrek car, probably in the hands of Eric Debard. And if Hugo Chevalier is allowed entry as well, I know they enjoy racing together. Raced the Class 1 DTM car at Paul Ricard last year in this championship as well. But it is once again Lyle Schofield who starts on pole position for this one. He was on pole position yesterday in race 1 in the night, took the top honours in the race as well. There's Olivier Morahan alongside him on the front row with the grid, who beat him to the Grand Curve in yesterday's race. Olivier Morahan was also leading outright from pole position in this morning's race, which Schofield was not a part of. And then in both encounters has been passed by David Favre's CKCT Sport Lamborghini Huracan GT3. So that'll be one to look out for once again. You have Tanguy Favre in the Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo car on the second row of the grid. Two very similar looking machines, but very different class of cars. And then best of the UCS4 cars is Pierre Aru, who took victory in race 2 this morning. Ahead of the midget of Keanu Lieto. And the Porsche Valesio Bacci from Switch Racing, which is the car that won in UCS4 yesterday in race 1 at the hands of Jeremy Merrier. It's Merrier back at the wheel of the car, but starting behind Pierre Aru's Audi GT4. Fondi Maurizio in the second of the Ferrari 488 Challenge cars from SR and R, although I noticed that car is actually missing from the grid, so I think we're down to 7 now, with Maxime Sontag completing the grid in the midget, the Legends Cup racer. So Lyle Schofield leads them on the formation lap, looking to make it back-to-back victories in his races. And in fact, in the last 5 races that he has competed in this championship, wasn't with us in Portimao, sadly, but in the last 5 races he's competed, he's won all 5 of them in this championship. Also competing in Italian GT in that 488 Challenge Evo car. Hasn't quite been able to get his hands on the new 296 just yet, but hopefully that won't be too far away. The Monaco-born French resident from Ireland, starting on pole position ahead of Olivier Morahan. The Favs on the second row of the grid, David ahead of Tanguy, GT3 ahead of Super Trofeo, Pierre Aru leading the UCS4 category ahead of Jeremy Merrier, who won yesterday. A gap on the grid where Maurizio Fondi should be, and Maxime Sontag, last car on the grid in the midget, but has really taken the fight to the UCS4 cars. Would have been a separate class of car last year, UCS Light, but as part of a sort of simplification of the class system here, they've been merged together. So it's UCS1 for GT3 machinery or equivalent, UCS2 for Super Trofeo or equivalent machinery, the Ultimate Cavallino Tridente Cup for Ferrari machinery, which in this case happens to be the both of them the 488 Challenge, and then UCS4 for GT4 cars and midgets as well. very different conditions that the drivers are having to race in. Now, is that a problem there for Jérémy Marais? It was going very slowly through the 180-degree corner, just building a little bit of a gap to Pierre Arroux. Trying to leave his tyre warming to the last possible moment, I guess. Almost looked like a problem there. That was going to hold up Maxime Sontag, but yes, the conditions very different. It is still chilly, but very different to what we had this afternoon in race 2, won by David Favre, which was in a bit more direct sunshine. We see the headlights still being utilised as the sun begins to set here in Magny Cours. It was a very foggy start to the day here. But has since brightened up very nicely, and thankfully still dry as well. So remember, yesterday it was Olivier Morahan who got the whole shot into the first corner with a great launch and utilising that GT3 power around the outside of the Grand Curb. We'll see if Morahan can do the same again in race 3. It's the same front row as it was yesterday. The white Ferrari that will lead them around the final chicane. Race 3 of Ultimate GT Sprint Cup gets underway. Miles Schofield leading them, but again it looks like Olivier Morahan in the Corvette has been able to get the jump, and yes, does manage to go around the outside, and it's a carbon copy of yesterday's race 1 where Olivier Morahan manages to take the lead of the race, and Lyle Schofield splits the two GT3 cars with the Huracan in hot pursuit of the 488. Those two very different drivers aboard those machines. Young Lyle going up against the more sort of gentlemanly drivers in those GT3 cars. You see Lyle very confident on the brakes going into the Adelaide hairpin. He was able to pass Olivier Morahan yesterday to take the lead back again and go on to win. Morahan would end up yielding a spot to David Favre as well, as he did in race 2 earlier on today. A mistake going into Chateau d'Eau, that allowed David Favre to go through into the lead after several laps of hounding the back of the V8 powered machine. See a sort of twitch there for Maxime Sontag. What has happened to Pierre Arroux? He's dropped from the front of the UCS4 field to the rear of the UCS4 fields, and it's Jérémy Marais who has the lead in that category now, ahead of Maxime Sontag. So it's Olivier Morahan, the kennel CEO, high performance lubricants brand that is a major partner to the Ultimate Cup Series, running very, very wide into the Virage de l'Ice though, and that's put Schofield right on his back bumper. Three cars, very close proximity at the end of the first lap. It's the big growling V8 that leads the slightly more sophisticated twin-turbo V8 in the Ferrari against the naturally aspirated V10 in the Lamborghini. It's a wonderful soundtrack to the lead of this race. You see the Lamborghini hoovering up a bit of the slipstream. Lyle Schofield, typical racing driver, using the headlights. David Favre, a very similar manoeuvre to what he pulled on Olivier Morahan in race 2 earlier on. Forces Schofield out a little bit wide as he had his nose on the inside, and that actually rather forgave a slightly wide moment for Olivier Morahan in the lead of the race. Out of the 180-degree corner, breaking back down for the Imola chicane now into the more technical parts of the racetrack. David Favre has been very, very quick in that first sector all weekend long, and in fact was half a second quicker than both the cars in front of him on this lap. But Schofield fighting back in the middle sector. A little bit wide into Verge de l'Iso, and that's what Olivier Morahan was doing yesterday in race 1. See how much more of an easy time the Ferrari has hopping over the curbing, particularly at that last chicane, where it can be very aggressive. So, start lap number 3, they work their way back down towards the chicane, and again David Favre showing his nose on the inside, but not really able to do anything with it. Well, there is the pass now for David Favre. So he's able to usurp Lars Schofield. That's not something we saw yesterday. So Lars Schofield down into 3rd position overall against technically the superior GT3 machinery. But David Favre now going after the man he's passed twice successfully so far this weekend. Fastest lap of the race for David Favre that time around. He's got a run and looking on the inside into the Grand Curve. That is very, very brave indeed. And Morahan holds that out around the outside, nearly contact between them. Morahan ends up on the grass and very nearly loses the car. And through Estoril, has to take to the escape road. David Favre moves through into the lead of the race from very nearly contact and very nearly spinning off the road. Olivier Morahan with a dramatic couple of corners there. But the crux of it is that David Favre moves into the lead of the race. Lars Schofield back up into 2nd place. So you can see Morahan really rather shuts the door there on David Favre, who ends up cutting the 2nd corner there. And I must say, Olivier Morahan did very well to avoid that moment. And that incident has been noted by race control. Look at the exhaust glowing red hot as the V10 bursts into life on the exit of the corner. It's incredible stuff to see. David Favre now leading the way. 7 minutes into this race. With the fastest lap of the race as well, looking to make it back-to-back victories. For several drivers running solo this weekend. Just listen to the various engines, the V8s, the V10s. It is one of the joys of GT racing. Trying to enjoy it while we can, with so many of the GT3 manufacturers kind of opting for a similar twin-turbo V8 platform these days, or soon will be moving to it. Of course, the Lamborghini Huracan will be no more at the end of the year, in terms of the higher level GT3 racing anyway. Being replaced by the Temerario and its twin-turbo V8. Gone will be the 5.2 litre V10 developed by Audi. But at the very least, we will still hear that V10 roaring Super Trofeo. The Huracan platform will remain for a year while the Temerario sort of gets up to speed. Of course, Mercedes also planning on swapping out their sort of big brute V8 for a smaller twin-turbo model that sort of reflects the road counterpart of their AMG machinery. Will Norris asking if F1 should come back to this track. I think F1 may well have outgrown it, unfortunately, as it has done so many circuits with the size of their cars and the difficulty of racing them. But I think it's still great for smaller single-seaters and still some GT cars as well. Great racing in the midget trophy race earlier. Oh, now this is a problem for Olivier Morahan coming in from 3rd position. That kennel race team prepared Corvette. So that's going to promote Tanguy Fav onto the overall podium. Let's see what happens. The team seemingly in any hurry to address something. I'm sure Olivier is feeding back to the team now. It is a shame to see. And unfortunately, it means we're down to 6 remaining runners. So with now absolutely nothing happening on the racetrack, we can possibly go back to the F1 debate, because I think even when Formula One was here back in the early to mid 2000s, people complained that the races were not that interesting, and well, I think the cars have only gotten worse in terms of their raceability, in all honesty. So probably wouldn't be the best idea. Of course, that's not a comment on the circuit at all. Way, Lars Schofield having a big swapper coming through the Virage de l'Ice and wrestling that car in a bid to try and catch up with David Fav, but the pace advantage with the Frenchman in the Lamborghini. Fan on the front of the Corvette, Olivier out of the car. Looks pretty terminal, sadly. Give you a reminder of what else we still have to come in the day, this slightly rescheduled day because of the fog this morning that delayed the start of the first European Endurance Prototype Cup race. I was about to say first race of the day, but the midgets actually were the first ones out, and their race effectively got cancelled. It just ran behind the safety car and then red flag at the end. So European Endurance Prototype Cup ended up being the first de facto race in that sense, and there was a bit of a delay, about 45 minutes or so, actually getting that one underway, but we did get the full complement of 4 hours around the Magny Cours circuit. So it's a slightly compressed timetable since then to make sure we stay on schedule, but shortly after this we have the European Sprint Prototype Cup race for Gen 2 LMP3 cars, I should say. It's a 4-car grid, so I know you're not going to want to miss that. And then the final race of the weekend for the Ultimate GT Sprint Cup, which, well, judging by how quickly they're running out on us, I think we'll be lucky if we have still 6 cars left on the grid for that one. And then we round out the day for the Kennel GT Endurance Cup qualifying. 3 qualifying sessions there that will set the grid for tomorrow's 4-hour race. Tomorrow is quite heavy on the single-seaters as well, with 3 of the Ligier Formula Cup races to come, and a smattering of midget racing as well, which, if you're interested in watching, will be on our French counterparts. Oi! That is a big moment there for Jeremy Marais, the lead of UCS4, very nearly mirroring what Olivier Morahan did, but a slightly more wayward moment, a little bit further onto the grass, and doing very well to catch that car and utilising a bit of experience that won him the French Drift Championship a few years ago. See that moment again. Runs out wide into the second left-hander, catches a bit of the grass. A fair bit of gravel to boot as well, but we know that Jeremy Merrier is quick on the opposite lock. Knows all about how to handle a car. Lars Schofield with a personal best last time around, but still can't quite match the pace of David Fav at the head of the field. So it's 3.1 seconds between Fav and Lars Schofield in second, and Tanguy Fav in third position still. It's Pierre Aru closing in on Maxime Sontag. We've talked about how this little midget has, no pun intended, taken the fight to the more Brutus GT4 cars that have an awful lot more power, but both Maxime Sontag and Keanu Lietaud have outperformed the GT4 rivals in the corners. So there is Pierre. Wile E. Coyote livery that he's had ever since his first Legends Cup race back in 2012, I think it was. You see how the midget of Sontag is able to pull away. Of course, as a Legends racer, knows quite a bit about driving with momentum and how to utilise the slipstream as well. Seen some fantastic racing over the season in the Legends Cup, which was here just a week ago. So even just on that straight between Estoril and the Adelaide hairpin, how much Pierre Roux was able to close up that big V8, big V10 engine. GT4 cars these days pumping out closer to 500 horsepower, almost similar performance from the engine to the GT3 cars. So Lars Schofield, talking about his record in the last 5 races, won all of them. So that duct is going to be broken here today. Unless he can do something about David Fav in the next 8 minutes or so. He'll be on course to make it back-to-back victories in races 2 and 3. The lead gap, 4.8 seconds now with 10 laps completed in this race. You see the Audi really closing in and quite late on the brakes, a little bit too late on the brakes. The horsepower difference between these two cars, and I guess the sort of braking capabilities as well, the cornering capabilities at the very least between them. So Aru closing up in the braking zone once again. Yeah, Aru, that race 2 winner in the UCS 2 category, UCS 4, I should say. Second in race 1 yesterday. Of course, it was in Aragon where he managed to take an overall race win because we had quite a high attrition rate. So by the end of it, I think it was only the 3 or 4 UCS 4 cars that we had left. Oh, now this is a big dive from Pierre there, and just a little touch there on the exit of the Virage de l'Ice, and I must say, great heads-up driving from Maxime Sontag. It's Pierre Aru getting a little feistier now, trying more attempts to get round in these closing 4 minutes. Maxime did very well not to suffer some bigger damage there. It was just the merest little contact that I think pushed the back end around slightly, but of very minimal consequence. That incident has been noted by the stewards, but it's up on the curb. That pushes the Audi into the side of the... Just see, it's just where that little fin on the front left tags the side of the midget. I don't think Sontag even made it into the gravel. Oh, now there's the superior straight line performance on the run from the 180-degree corner into the Imola chicane. Oh no, actually, sorry, out of the Adelaide hairpin into the Nürburgring chicane, I should say, as they're now into the 180-degree corner. And I'm sure Maxime Sontag there would have been thinking, come on, get on with it, as they went through that long left-hander, about to be lapped by the race leader. In fact, David Favre splits the two now. I think it'd be quite difficult for Maxime to come back at Pierre Roux now without the straight line speed to compete with the Audi. Just using the indicator there to say, I'm staying left. See that tactic an awful lot in endurance racing, particularly in Nürburgring, where communication between cars is arguably more important than most other places. Look at the speed difference between the midget and the Audi through Estoril. Oh, that's astonishing. That is brilliant speed from the midget. Oh, Schofield's about to blast past both of them. Pierre Aru opens up the tap on the V10, just drags straight back past. Here comes Schofield to put a lap on them. Now that midget as well keeps getting a message from race control to turn the rear lights on. I don't think it's got rear lights in all honesty. Which makes you wonder why it would have been allowed to compete in a race where the lights needed to be on if we're scheduling them for this time of day. Race 4 will be even darker. Race 1 will be raced in complete darkness. So that means that Pierre Roux is back up into second place in the class. On to the final lap then for David Favre. Makes his way back into the Grand Curve. And he is going to go back-to-back in the Ultimate GT Sprint Cup. See how much of a hard time the tyres are having with how much rubber is being flicked up off the racing line. So it is just a few corners to go now for David Favre. Just got the UCS4 leader right in front of him, Jeremy Merrier. Switch racing, going to make it a second victory of the weekend. It'll be back-to-back victories for Jeremy Merrier in the races that he's competed in. Brake discs glowing as the sun sets here in Magny Cours. David Favre round the final two corners, and it's victory in race 3 of Ultimate GT Sprint Cup for David Favre and the CKCT Sports team aboard the Lamborghini Huracan GT3. It's back-to-back race wins for the squad. Across the line as well, Jeremy Merrier to take back-to-back UCS4 victories for Switch Racing. Second across the line, Lyle Schofield, his win of consecutive victories has come to an end. Tanguy Favre will be the last car across the line and complete the podium. Jeremy Merrier, as we mentioned, and then Pierre Arou's second in the category. And Maxime Sontag will complete the 6-car field that made it to the checkered flag after we lost Olivier Morahan and Maurizio Fondi did not start the race. So although Schofield misses out on the win, he does keep up his rather impressive podium record this season. 8 races in which he's competed this year, being on the podium in 7 of them. That's the overall podium as well. So David Favre pulls up into Parc Fermé for the second time today in front of the #1 board. Miles Schofield settling for second in that one. And of course it's a double overall podium for CKCT Sport as well, with the Huracan finishing in 3rd position. Huracan Super Trofeo, I should specify. Of course, both of the Huracan platform. Let's go for the first to get out of the car. Soon followed by David Favre. An embrace from Lyle's father there. And see, that's the international racing driver language for oversteer, I think Lyle was giving there to his old man.
Dans les cendres qui va accueillir les vainqueurs et qui va interviewer donc David Favre, encore une fois vainqueur et tout sourire.
So let's go down to Alexander Urban and hear from our race
David, une nouvelle victoire au soleil couchant de Magny Cours, celle-là elle fait plaisir encore.
Ah ouais, je suis content là parce qu'en plus on a doublé tout le monde. La Ferrari marchait très bien hier. Et, voiture extraordinaire, là c'est parfait, belle piste, tout impeccable. Alors, content pour une première.
Il en reste encore une. Quel va être l'objectif?
Ouais, bon, sauf que là je commence à fatiguer. Hein. Moi je suis papy hein, quand même. Là ça fatigue un peu, mais bon on va la faire, il n'y a pas de problème.
Et on va aller voir Jérémy Mirires. Alors il vient de se faire asperger de champagne par un certain Alistair Young. On va essayer d'avoir un petit mot avec Jérémy. Ah oui, on va enlever le casque Jérémy, je pense que ce sera mieux. Un joli casque plein de champagne.
Ah, là je vais sentir bon, ça va être super. Hein. Désolé. Hein.
Ouais, mais il n'y a pas de souci. Jérémy, une belle figure pendant cette course. Un peu trop de risques au T1, mais finalement, un beau.
D'un moment, il fallait que je m'occupe en fait.
Ça vous a peut-être un petit peu rappelé le drift, non?
Ça m'a rappelé le drift et ça m'a aussi rappelé que, en fait, t'es dans la voiture, fais gaffe quoi. Ça fait peur en fait. C'est cool.
Est-ce que c'était une petite dédicace à Alistair qui nous a fait une belle figure ce matin aussi?
J'aimerais vraiment pouvoir dire oui, j'ai fait exprès, tout ça. C'est pas vrai. Mais maintenant que c'est fait, on peut le dire. En tout cas, c'est mérité parce qu'il en a fait une très belle ce matin aussi.
Merci beaucoup, Jérémy. On vous laisse profiter d'une deuxième douche de champagne, du coup.
Alors là, par contre, je t'explique. Les deux, ils vont pas courir comme hier. Hein. Là, je vais le pré-déboucher. Je vais les arroser comme il faut. Filme bien, filme bien.
Merci beaucoup à Jérémy Mirires. Et on va se retrouver dans un instant pour la course d'European Sprint Prototype Cup.
we're gonna